Welcome to the She Rises Collective podcast, a permission slip, a portal, and a hug all in one. A sacred space where stories soften us, truth unearths us, and sisterhood waters what's been waiting to grow. I'm Sonia Welch, wife and mama to a whole bunch of kids, certified trauma-informed life and transformation coach, entrepreneur, storyteller, heart and soul-driven woman walking life right alongside you. This is where we talk about the real stuff. Motherhood, relationships, money, career, business, healing and reinvention, sisterhood, the day-to-day, becoming the woman you know you're meant to be, and everything in between. Nothing is off limits here. We alchemize struggle into strength, pain into purpose, and we rise together. Raw, honest, wildly empowered. As the artist of our lives, let's take the raw materials of life and make freaking art, because you can be a masterpiece and a work of art at the same time. And if there's one thing I want you to know, it's this. No matter your past or your present, your future can be wildly beautiful, and you deserve a life that makes your soul scream, yes, more, please. If you're here, it's not by accident, you were led. And this space was created for you because this isn't just a podcast, it's a movement. A sacred soul-led space to come together, connect and laugh in a space that is real and raw, encompassing the complexities and dynamics of life, hand in hand, growing and rising together. This is the She Rises Collective podcast. Welcome home. Hello, beautiful soul. Today we are talking about soul equity. The return that starts inside and shows up everywhere, because we check our bank accounts, we check our investments, we know how much gas is in our vehicle tank, we know when it's time to get our hair done and our nails done, and we relentlessly check social media notifications. But how often do we check the equity of our soul? Soul equity is the return that you cannot afford to ignore. In this episode, you'll understand the missing link between everyday stress and survival and the life so many women are craving. Soul equity is the compounding return of every inner shift, every brave choice, every moment you choose alignment over survival. Just like $5 compounds into wealth, choosing peace over people-pleasing or courage over comfort builds inner wealth, because we track calories, steps, and dollars. But what about joy, resilience, freedom? Every layer of healing, every shift and upgrade in self-worth, every mindset reframe, every embodiment practice, the inner work that really works, it all builds your soul equity. And the real magic happens when you stop spending energy in survival mode and start building soul equity, the kind that pays you back for life and creates the inner wealth effect. And trust me, I know sometimes it can feel impossible to escape the hamster wheel of burnout, overwhelm, survival mode. I was there. If you've listened to my first podcast episode or follow me on social media, you know my story. And the real magic, what it looks like, is saying no to something misaligned because you know how to protect your energy, catching yourself before spiraling in self-doubt, pausing to breathe instead of snapping at your kids or spouse, reframing setbacks, challenges, failure as feedback and opportunity. These everyday wins build soul equity that later translates into visible shifts, more peace, more joy, more confidence, better relationships, clearer decisions, and abundance that compounds exponentially in the background of your life. And the cost of ignoring it is too big. Burnout, overwhelm, chasing external validation, surviving instead of thriving, settling for good enough, and living a life that looks good on the outside but feels empty inside. The cost of ignoring your soul equity is a debt you'll always feel, no matter how good things look on paper. The soul equity method is my signature framework to build unshakable inner power, healing, and identity that create meaningful and lasting transformation. It's the journey of remembering who you are underneath it all, the stories, the patterns, the behaviors, the past, the beliefs that keep you stuck, reclaiming your power and finding clarity. It's where you stop leaking energy in survival mode and start building your very own soul equity, the kind of inner wealth that compounds over time. Compounds, am I pronouncing that correctly? Compounds. In confidence, love, freedom, joy, and aligned success. Soul equity doesn't change you. It changes your entire life, your relationships, business, money, health. It's the return that becomes visible everywhere. It's like watering the root of a tree. The growth above the ground always catches up. Because when you walk this path of soul equity, doing the inner work that works, you activate your own inner wealth effect, the unstoppable ripple of abundance and overflow that expands into every area of your life. Every time you choose yourself, you're making a deposit. Every time you align with joy, you're compounding your inner wealth. The return will show up in ways you can't imagine yet, but you can't afford to ignore because the debt of ignoring it is too steep. I remember the night on my kitchen floor, tears running down my face, wondering how I got here. I had the house, the business, the family, everything that should have made me feel whole and happy inside. But inside, I was bankrupt, not in my bank account, but in my soul equity. I had been overgiving, overdoing, and I fell into a downward spiral that felt impossible to escape. My body literally became addicted to the hormones of stress. I had abandoned myself for so long, I'm talking about my inner world, that I didn't recognize the woman in the mirror anymore. And that's when I realized soul equity is real. You can't see the balance, but you can feel the debt. And here's a hard truth that hit me right in the gut when I needed it most. Every decision I make reflects the depth of my self-love. Every action and every inaction reflects the depth of my self-love. But this doesn't mean it's easy. However, when you start using this as a lens, it's really powerful. When you pause and ask yourself, what is this reflecting about my depth of self-love? Because oh my gosh, does this hit hard for you too? When I started using this as the lens for my decisions, it became a powerful motivator and reflection. Daily things like binging another episode when it's already late becomes no thanks. One episode is enough because I have dreams and passions to build. Scrolling on my phone late at night instead of going to bed, and remembering that tomorrow's version of me deserves a rested mind and body. Ignoring my intuition in a conversation to avoid conflict when the most loving thing would be to speak my truth. Using this lens as the mirror of the depth of our self-love becomes the catalyst to better decisions, which overflows into every area of our lives. More joy, more peace, better health, more money. And this isn't about perfection. It's about devotion to yourself, to your future, to the life you're here to live. And when you do, everything shifts. My breakdown season led me to breakthrough of going on a radical self-discovery journey of healing, growth, and self-mastery that has changed me in ways that cannot be put into words. One day my kids were running wild, fighting nonstop, and I felt the rage bubbling up. My old pattern would have been to snap because my nervous system literally didn't have the capacity to hold it. But I paused, I took a breath, and chose differently. It may not sound huge, but that one pause was a deposit into my soul equity account. Because every time you choose calm over chaos, presence over reactivity, you're building inner wealth you'll cash in later, and deeper connection and trust with yourself and peace that compounds. And that compounding equity is what I refer to as the inner wealth effect. It brings me back to the days that my husband and I were drowning in stress with our brick and mortar coffee shop. It felt like the coffee shop owned us, not the other way around. But as I started doing the inner work, regulating my nervous system, shifting my mindset, embodying new identity work, connecting with who I was underneath it all, and finding clarity and power, and doing the inner work, the self-discovery and self-mastery work, something wild happened. Opportunities aligned. We manifested hands-off management. We moved into our dream home in Southern California. And that's what the inner wealth effect looks like. When you feel better on the inside, your life outside begins to calibrate to your new frequency. And that's why I do what I do as a certified transformational life coach. I know how hard it can be to get off of the hamster wheel. I know the exhaustion of survival mode, the emptiness of burnout, what it's like to lose yourself and lose your spark. I know the ache of not living the life your soul is aching for, dreams and visions collecting dust in the cage of survival mode. But I also know the freedom of breakthrough. So now I empower women to reclaim their power, turn desires into reality, and live radically joyful, soul-aligned lives they're obsessed with by turning every ounce of who you are into power, presence, and purpose. It's where self-mastery becomes soul equity, and that creates the inner wealth effect. The ripple that happens when you rise and everything around you shifts and calibrates. It's the inner work that really works. It's the inner work that I put together in the most powerful journey of reclamation after over a decade of being knees deep in my own growth and personal development journey. This is the kind of work that changes everything. And it's why I created my empowered coaching container, because surface level tools can spark a shift. But when you devote yourself fully to this journey, the ripple effect is undeniable. Your nervous system resets, your relationships deepen, your entire life begins to calibrate to your new frequency. And I want to give you a little taste of that right now. So here are 3 quick deposits into your soul equity account that you can make. Number 1, the pause, because every pause is a deposit into your nervous system regulation and presence. Next time you feel yourself about to snap, roll your eyes, or spiral, pause, stop, take 3 slow breaths. This one pause is a deposit into your calm, your presence, and your self-trust, and it starts to rewire your nervous system and your baseline. Get intentional about the pause. There is so much power in the pause. Number 2, the soul-aligned no, because every no to misalignment is a yes to your power. Choose one soul-aligned no today. Say no to something that drains you, whether it's an extra obligation, a phone call you don't have capacity for, or a habit that doesn't serve you. Every no to misalignment is a yes to yourself. Number 3, the reframe, because every reframe is a deposit into your identity as a woman who grows instead of shrinks. Reframe one story. Catch a thought that sounds like I failed, I'm not enough, I should be further ahead, and shift it into this is feedback. I'm growing. I'm exactly where I'm meant to be. This shift is a compounding deposit into your worth and resilience. In my coaching world, we go really deep into it all. The healing, the growth, the expansion, the liberation. You become the conscious creator of your life, the artist of your life. It's where the real magic happens. It's where you come when you want to live a radically joyful, soul-aligned life. And if you want to go deeper with me, reach out. Until next time, friend. Thank you so much for tuning in to the She Rises Collective podcast. If this episode moved you, inspired you, reminded you of your power, or you just plain enjoyed it, please take a second to subscribe, share it with a friend, leave a review, and even share it to your social media. Your voice helps this show reach more women who are ready to rise. If you're craving deeper support, real conversations, or want to explore working together, head to SoniaWelch.com or come say hi on Instagram or Facebook to stay connected. I'd truly love to hear what's landing for you. My coaching work is about the sacred journey of rising, becoming, and expansion into the most beautiful version of you. It's the synergy of mind, heart, soul, and body work that we do in my world that creates a vortex of deep self-remembrance, unlocking your fullest potential, the kind that births lasting transformation and activates the truth of who you are. It's a recalibration of who you are at your core, a deep initiation into your power, your purpose, and your potential. Remember, you are the artist of your life. You are allowed to rewrite your story. You are worthy of more joy, more peace, and more soul-screaming yes moments than you've ever allowed yourself to believe are even possible. This is about living a life of intoxicating joy, doing what lights you up, a life that roars into the world and creates ripple effect impact, because it's not just about us. This is how we shift paradigms, take our power back, and give others permission to do the same, just by being who we truly are and letting our magic be felt and seen. Until next time, keep rising, keep becoming, and don't forget, joy is rebellion, and you are here to make it roar. You are loved and you are supported here.